Hi, this is Manpreet Ratia. I'm a managing partner with Jungle Ventures, and I'm here to give you some very quick and easy tips in terms of managing cash and extending your runway in a capital constrained environment. I think during the pandemic, we saw literally shutdown of society, shutdown of economies. And I think at that point in time, there was a lot of, hey, this is new territory. We've never been here before. Out here, I think the market environment is different. We're not seeing societies and communities and people getting locked down. I think it is more around the cost of capital. The fact that capital may not be that easily available, it will still be available, but it may not be easily available. Our advice right now is be a little bit more nuanced, be a little bit more ready and see what you can do in terms of extending your cash runway is what we are suggesting. If you were efficiently run earlier, then I struggle to understand why would you need to do layoffs at this point in time. If there are elements of tech layoff which is happening in the region, in my mind there is just you were just wasting money. You didn't know why you were putting money in. But if you've been smart about hiring, if you've been smart about growing your business, if you've been smart around focusing on the right growth, quality growth, and the level of experimentation which you do in your business, I still go back and I say I have immense faith in the core macroeconomic fundamentals of Southeast Asia and India. Economies will continue to grow. The runway which is available for startups in terms of digital penetration, in terms of tech adoption, etc., is still immense. And if we're smart about hiring people, I wouldn't be laying them off right now. I think there are two ways of doing that. One is to look at your current and see what are you spending money on today. I'm sure there are businesses which could be spending a significant amount of their operating expense in a month on salaries. But there is also stuff around rental, there is also stuff around travel. You may have vendors, you may have agencies which you are working. So I would get a little bit more razor sharp in terms of that, and I'm sure there is juice to be squeezed out of that lemon out there. The second bucket is I'm sure there is a cost to grow, particularly in terms of there is a certain amount of money which you are spending in terms of growing at a certain rate. Maybe the other way of looking at it, and that's something which I strongly encourage my business, is go back and I say, do I really want to be growing at that much? If I were to grow at maybe 1/3 the rate or maybe 2/3 the rate, is that going to really hurt me? Perhaps the answer could potentially very well be no. So there's a significant amount of cash which you could save there as well. The third bucket which I would argue is look ahead in terms of your future spending plans. There could be certain initiatives, there could be new markets, there could be new products, etc. And I just ask businesses to go back and make their vital few decisions. You may have a list of 12, you pick the top 5 and then perhaps delay and push out some of the others. So you could be very smart in terms of managing some of these things. The thing which we need to look at is to go back and start looking at your utilization rate in terms of the infrastructure which you have built in, particularly if you are in direct fulfillment businesses and you have large logistics chains or warehouse chains, or you have large delivery capacities, etc. If you've been smart, a lot of this cost is variable in nature. You can release some of the extra warehousing capacity which you have. You can release, some of the extra delivery boys you may have taken on third-party payrolls, etc., which is there. The most important thing in cost management is to understand the nature of your cost. There is some cost which you can switch off immediately, which means that you're spending $10 on this today, you switch it off, you don't have to spend $10 tomorrow. But there is certain cost which takes some time before it comes off. So for example, payroll, it's not as easy. There is separation payment which you need to end up making, right? So one of the first exercises which I always encourage all startups to do is to understand the nature of your cost and how quickly can you switch it off or switch it on. Understand there is going to be a delay in certain of these cost items before it starts actually reflecting upon your P&L or your balance sheet. Think twice before spending. That's the advice which I would give, let's say 2 years ago. Now I tell them think 4 times before spending. And the last thing which I encourage people to understand is understand the nature of your cost. What is fixed, what is variable, what is semi-variable, how quickly can you get it off? Is there a cost of getting it off? People say, I'm going to walk out of the rental lease, but yeah, there is a penalty. So do you really want to be incurring that? Sometimes there is a cost in terms of actually getting costs off.